Good evening, all you amazing people. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you are seeing this for the first time, please subscribe. I have started this channel and I'm going to do at least 3 to 4 videos a week on this channel. Today, we are discussing the huge loss, and I'm underlining the word huge loss of BJP in Karnataka. What are the main reasons behind it? Why did BJP, a party which has a mammoth presence in this entire country, which has a mammoth presence in the parliament from Karnataka, out of 28, 25 of its own, one independent supporting 26 out of 28 seats? Why it has slumped to its worst defeat in 9 years at the hands of Congress? It's the worst defeat. Why? Because there are two parameters behind it. Parameter number one, that the vote share of Congress is 7% more than BJP. Second, the seats are almost double than BJP. The only other place which this happened before was Chhattisgarh, but that's a small state in the sense that it sends a few members of parliament. 25 plus states which send more than 25 members of parliament. Karnataka is its biggest loss. And two narratives started after that. What is the big reason behind it? Is the Karyakarta, the worker, the backbone of BJP, upset with BJP? Is that Karyakarta, the backbone, unwilling to put in the effort? Are they somewhere disappointed? We will examine those reasons. I did a tweet and I went on the YouTube, my Hindi YouTube channel also, and I asked this question to people because I wanted a feedback also before I sit down and discuss with you. I know what is happening, but what is the person who doesn't have a platform to speak in this sense saying about what he feels happened in Karnataka? So I got almost 2,000 replies. And out of that, one thing which for me was a big issue is people feel that BJP has not done enough on its core issues. Like, for example, Congress promised in Karnataka that if we come to power, we will ban Bajrang Dal. Now, this is the question I asked. What, as per you, are the top reasons BJP lost to Congress in Karnataka? So they very clearly say that the reason that we will come and ban Bajrang Dal. Now, that's being called a masterstroke. Now, that's being called a reason that there was an unprecedented consolidation of the Muslim vote behind Congress, which went from JDS to Congress. And you must see the data, you must see the stat, because Access, the one which got the exit poll right, bang on, if you could say, says this is the community wise vote share. ST 44 to Congress, 33 to BJP percentages. SC 60 to Congress. That's a very good number for Congress. And probably because the president of Congress is from Karnataka and there was a consolidation. Kurba, where Mr. Siddaramaiah is the likely CM, 63%. Vokaligga, where Mr. DK Shivkumar is a likely deputy CM, a decent consolidation. In fact, not a consolidation, just 24%. OBC 31%. Lingayat, which BJP has given CMs from, 20%. But Muslim vote 88% in one direction. Is this the reason? No. This is a factor. This is not the reason. Because I will give you the example of Uttar Pradesh. In Karnataka, the percentage of Muslim population is 13% as the sum of the whole population. In Uttar Pradesh, it is 20% plus. Yet, Yogi Adityanath managed to sweep the election. In Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, the demographics you know, still manages to sweep the election, brings BJP back to power. And even when the first term of BJP, he was a strong backbone player, everybody knows. But at that time, he had just come from Congress. So probably BJP did not feel at that time that he should directly be made a chief minister. He did a brilliant job in those 5 years, and then he was made a CM. Demographics, almost 3 times the voter, or maybe 2.5 times the voter in Assam. double in Uttar Pradesh. But they both managed to win. So people who are saying that this is the only reason, that's lazy analysis. The real reason is, why was the core voter of BJP disappointed? Why were they either staying at home or not voting for BJP? Why were the Karyakartas not feeling that they are given their due? Most of them, and Karyakarta could be anybody, somebody officially a part of the party, or for every political party, there are people who are not part of a party, who are doing their own personal life, professional life, but like a party, like its ideology. But if you do not stick to your own ideology yourself, then what happens? And it's not the first time this has happened. West Bengal, there was a consolidation of minority vote. In fact, very famously, the political analysts predicting TMC victory said that they would sweep minority vote. They will get the overwhelming majority of the minority vote and a minority of the majority vote, and they will win. And they won. So BJP knows this. But Himanta and Yogi countered this. Why doesn't that counter? Why didn't that counter happen? That is the big question. One of the reasons when I talk about Karyakartas, people see how you treat them, or how would you treat people who speak up for you. Two names, Nupur Sharma, Kajal Hindustani, and so many other names. But because I don't want to make it a very long video, do you call them fringe elements? Do you disown them? Do you dismiss them? Or do you support them? Do you back them? That's the question. They may not say anything. They probably cannot say anything. But they probably feel they should not say anything. That's a separate issue. But what's the image? But that is individual, Karyakarta. Let's see the wider issue. Are you stoking issues and then giving them up? Or are you going to deliver? A core issue, you said, CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act, for which a massive Shaheen Bagh occurs. Completely illegal. But that succeeds. Today, if you have to define the aims of Shaheen Bagh, they succeeded. For one excuse or the other, you do not bring in CAA. Rules haven't been framed, 6 extensions given. 6 extensions given. Do you think the core voter doesn't realize that what works? Do you think they don't understand that you are not delivering on the promises you made? I did another tweet and that overwhelming response, and this I want to tell you. What is BJP's core areas? Repeal Places of Worship Act, re-examine Waqf Act, free temples from government control. How many of them do you think have happened or are likely to happen? Of course, there are local factors. Let us not ignore that. There are local factors, big local factors. One of them, and this is your feedback, because in my mind, I'm being very frank with you, I had not really done a deep thought on this. But because of your comments, I thought that, and because a lot of people from Karnataka commented, corruption, they said, was becoming an issue. So it cannot be a case that if a corrupt person is in BJP state, exactly the same, if not more, action is not taken on him as is taken on opposition parties. That cannot be. See, people who vote for BJP want a corruption-free India. It's not a case of are corrupt because we vote for a party is okay. That cannot be the case. And people in their replies, in their comments, made it very clear that yes, what is the fundamental difference that when the slogan of Chaukidar Chor Hai was given, it completely flopped. Entire muscle of Congress, of ecosystem was put in that slogan. It flopped miserably. But in Karnataka, it succeeded. Because people living there, who are experiencing daily life, who are living with it, realized that's true. But then on whom does the onus lie of remedying it? Of telling people that this is not something we will tolerate. In fact, we will rain down with all our ability against it. People know everything. People know if opposition is making an allegation which is not true. People know if the opposition is making an allegation which they believe has some substance to it. And as a leadership, you have to judge. when the opposition is just baying for blood without any substance to it, and when there is a genuine grievance of a common citizen. Why only that? Let's come to the new issue, which is also equally important. The issue where you start taking, in a sense, if I take it in the broader sense, the core issues which you stoke. For example, we will bring uniform civil code. For example, near election, you focus on issues which during the governance are somehow not important. What did? And a lot of people are saying Mr. Yadurappa had to have a different role, party leadership had to have a different role. True. But how many issues did you start and you give up? How many? That is a reality. Also, I took two names. What about West Bengal? What happened after the election day? Has sufficient action been taken on that? You think the core voter will not be angry, will not be upset? They may not speak. What happens is when the core gets upset, it just stays at home. It does not go to a voting booth. It does not sit in a, let's say if they're going for a morning walk, it does not argue with its colleagues. It doesn't tell them, no, no, vote for this party. It doesn't, in parties, if it goes, if it is a part of any club, it doesn't argue for you. It just goes silent. It just goes silent. And when your core gets silent, because every party has a limited core, rest are all people who are neutral or floating. One election they vote for A party, other election they vote for B party. So I've always told you the core of any party, be it Congress or BJP or any regional party, is a very small percentage of the total vote it's going to get. It's a very small percentage. Who will vote for the party 3, 4 elections unless the party completely gives up its ideology or the reason they vote for it? That is a very small thing. They go quiet. Now a slightly different thing. Why this is a big thing for BJP to introspect? This is the first, almost the first time I can think of, where Congress has a substantive lead in female voters over BJP, where it has a lead in first-time voters. India is a very young country, so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds who have not voted previously, their first vote. Do you remember the campaign? Mera pehla vote Bhajpa ko. Because BJP was getting a huge lead among women voters, among first-time voters. Why have they gone? Those are local factors. Those are factors also where your communication has failed. Employment, inflation, always important. But here I'm not speaking too much on that for a reason, because I do not think that BJP is casual on that. Inflation is a global phenomenon. It is improving it. It is trying to do it. If it doesn't do it, people will be angry. But that inflation was even worse when UP election occurred. It was just after COVID. It was worse than this right now. Still Yogi swept. And the same day this result came, 4.34 crore people voted in Uttar Pradesh. It's a humongous Pradesh. 22 crore is the population. So because local election, the turnout is a little low, 4.34 crore people voted. That's bigger than many states voting in a state election. And BJP got 53% vote. It's the same job situation. It's the same inflation. Why did this happen in Uttar Pradesh and not? Because the local leadership is doing enough to communicate to people what people are very sensible. If you explain to them, and if they feel what you are explaining is genuine, it is true, it is legitimate, they will believe you. If they think you are being over smart or arrogant, another feedback, because I'm talking about feedback and I use the word arrogant, I got this, that there is a lot of arrogance, especially in social media, by BJP, where the due weightage to people who are pro-BJP is not given. Lot of arrogance. And arrogance will never allow you to succeed. Take it from me. My personal experience, I met so many people in BJP, very humble, very polite, especially at the mid-level also, Upper echelons, obviously, but mid level also, very humble, very down to earth people. But is the arrogance creeping in those people who have gotten posts because somebody or the other liked them or promoted them, who are not the upper echelons? Is that happened? I haven't seen that, but I got a lot of comments where people have seen it. So that is very interesting. BJP obviously has to introspect on that. But going ahead, after all this, let me tell you something. Sometimes people overread an election. If BJP takes the right lessons from this, it will emerge stronger because the seeds of a future victory are often sown in the current defeat. But if you do not learn the lesson, then defeat becomes into a bigger defeat, and that becomes a permanent loss of war. The war is 2024. That would then be a loss in a war. Will that happen? Will that not happen? My opinion, as of now, BJP is very comfortably placed to form government with majority. But Karnataka has shown that if corrective measures are not taken, if there is complacency, then 24 could be a question mark. People believed that Congress had an edge, but this is not an edge result. This is a decisive mandate for Congress. We have gotten so used to saying the word decisive mandate for BJP. I was about to say decisive mandate for BJP. But no, it's a decisive mandate for Congress. And let me tell you one last thing. Anybody who tells you BJP has lost nothing, it had 36.2% vote share then, it has 36 now, is not being factual with you. I studied the result today. That person is not being factual with you. Do not go for comfortable analysis. Go for realistic analysis. There are 6 regions of Karnataka if you divide them. In 2 of them, BJP gained votes, including Old Mysore. BJP gained votes in Old Mysore. That means BJP also got some vote from JDS. And Bangalore, urban areas, BJP gained votes, where obviously the Prime Minister did a lot of rallies and all. But in 4 regions, it lost votes. And it lost votes which have gone to Congress. Because obviously, as you know very, very well, JDS was wiped out. So BJP gained something from JDS. BJP lost also something. And this should not be ignored if you want to have an analysis which will help you. And see, one thing I am very sure, BJP takes defeats very seriously. And all the errors it made in this, they will understand. And that is why there are so many questions also. So in a nutshell, I would say 3 big things. 1, the local factors, which will be different in every state. So I'm not going to do too much of a depth into them, and I did not do it also. Second, corruption, even inside BJP, if any, has to be acted upon decisively. And thirdly, the core issues of both supporting your Karyakartas, supporting your ecosystem, and implementing the core issues, which excite the base. An excited person, as I said, if he goes to a club, a public park, a restaurant, in his job, he then tells others on his own, this is what BJP has done. For example, Article 370, when it was abolished, people were speaking about it themselves in WhatsApp groups, on non-political WhatsApp groups. Balakot, people were, okay, that wasn't a core issue, but that was a core issue in the sense you responded to Pakistan by attacking Pakistan proper. People were speaking themselves. Ram Mandir judgment. Who amongst you did not see that being spread in WhatsApp or social media? Similarly, there are enough core issues. Excite the base. Local issues of every state have to obviously be tackled at a state level. employment, inflation, of course, is all a part of good governance, which has to be done. There is anybody who denies that is just wasting your time. But beyond all that, do not take core voters for granted. Do not take Karyakartas for granted. I am sure BJP would have gotten this feedback and will do it. Otherwise, 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 it could be very tough year in various state elections for BJP. I'm not saying a very tough year in 2024, and I'll give you the reason, because there is enough data to show that when Prime Minister Modi is on ballot, he gets between 10 to 15% vote more than the assembly. And anyways, it's 1 year, so it's in a sense very near, in a sense it's very far, because 1 week is a long time in politics. But the 4 elections coming now, they would be crucial. I will discuss them on English, so please do subscribe and follow. Thank you. Bharat Mata ki Jai.